Hello everyone and welcome to our live video. We are running a few minutes late, our apologies, a few technical difficulties.
A couple, as is always the case.
As is always the case. We are now live.
Thankfully.
Yes, thank you all for joining us. We are here tonight with me, Georgina.
Thankfully.
And also,
weird otherwise.
Yeah, it was Jamie. And the authors of Dominations, Road to Civilization, Eric Dubus.
Hello everybody.
And Olivier Melison.
Hi everyone.
So what we are here for tonight is, well, we are kind of celebrating the final 48 hours of the campaign, which
started exactly 17 minutes ago.
Exactly 17 minutes ago, which is also equal to just how late we are.
Yeah.
So once again, sorry for that.
We're not late, we're on time.
Yes,
We're fashionably on time.
Absolutely.
We're like wizards, we arrive exactly where we mean to.
Like wizards.
So tonight we are going to be talking to you about the Dominations Deluxe Kickstarter campaign, which is now in its final 48 hours, and also about the Tables of Lore module, which we added this week, last week.
Time has no meaning to me
Last week
after
was
the last 12 months.
backers.
Yes, we hit 1,000 backers last week, and our beloved authors whipped up this extra module, which is going to be added for free into the Rise and Fall expansion, which is already pretty cool. It adds a lot to the game. This is something that's a little bit different to everything that we have added.
Now, before we get into this, because I know where this goes and this takes a while, the usual spiel, everything you are about to see here is a prototype.
Yeah.
But I do want to confirm, because we have been asked these questions, that they will be punchboard lore tablet things.
Yes.
So that at least that is good. And yes, you may take it away.
So this is a module. Every player gets one of these. It's a player board.
We have 4 boards for each players with a symmetrical board first and on one asymmetrical side.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the game, you choose whatever you want to play, the symmetrical or the asymmetrical. And then when you choose it, at the beginning of the game, you choose where you want to place your campfire.
Yeah.
Meaning that you can place wherever you want in the 25 grids.
So this is a board that limits how you build your civilization tree.
So you choose at the beginning where you set up your campfire and get the bonus if there is one.
Yeah, so anywhere you see a dot on the board, here is a bonus that you get. So there are different types. These
Vestigium bonus.
Yeah.
You have some resources and some cities, victory points, influence. And depending on the side, you have some knowledge card, the advanced version of the knowledge card, and so on. So when I put there, I get one Vestigium token.
Which we'll get to in a minute.
Absolutely. Then, let's imagine, after the first round, I'm developing the military doctrine, and I set up this in the grid.
Yeah.
And get my victory point if there is any, and get the bonus if there is any. There is none.
There isn't one. No.
On the second turn, I'm developing this knowledge, and still we keep the rules of connecting the cards between them with the nodus. We
all
still keep the rules stays.
Same.
But now just get there. That way, I would say I could get 3 knowledge, 3 resources of my choice, which can split in any resources I want to. In that case, I would take 3 civism and get the victory point again, and so on.
Okay.
On the next turn, instead of building a city, I would do a wonder.
Okay.
And I would put it over there, and you set up your cards, your knowledge cards, as you do, but in the grid.
Yes, so it has to be contained within the grid.
Absolutely.
All the normal rules apply, so the nodes have to match.
And when you cover a bonus, you get a bonus.
And you get the bonus.
Piece of cake.
Pretty simple.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk about the Vestigium token.
Okay.
Let's imagine, in 1 turn later, I want to develop this knowledge card.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I would like to really put it over there, and to set it there. The problem is I can't connect it. Because, it's the wrong notice.
Yeah.
Now, it is the Vestigium token which I could replace, so I can spend the Vestigium token to set up a notice of the color of my choice.
So anything. Doesn't have to be one of the colors.
Because now it would go over. And now it's a red one. It's a civism. That way, the Vestigium token, if I keep them at the end of the game, it will value 5 victory points per Vestigium token, which is roughly 25 points if I
keep them all.
Keep everything, and I can manage easily my tree, and optimize my tree.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
You can do it, but it's not really easy.
Yeah.
And this is a choice, or if you decide to use it, but it's not easy to get the 5.
To keep the 5 in your game, at least to get the 5, because you need to go there to get the Vestigium token and then to spend them. Yeah. That way, I could spend this one if I need some notice for my objective cards.
Yeah, sure.
Or if I have some other, knowledge card which could bring some victory point with the notice or whatsoever. So the idea is to use your Vestigium to help you in building your tree. Now it's up to you, again, depending on your strategy, on what you want to do, but at least you are stick to the 25 grid that you have in front of you. Roughly, this is the Tablet of Laws, how it works. Roughly.
Yeah, Tables of Law, so...
It's fully compatible with all the expansions, with all these expansions from Rise and Fall expansions, so with the Rise and Decline cards, Corruption, and so you can mix everything, or split everything and play with all the other expansions that we have.
Because this doesn't add any seriously big rules to the game.
No.
It just gives you a slightly different way to play and something new to consider. So
we didn't at the beginning. We wanted to optimize the player who want to optimize his tree is not rewarded for this.
Yeah.
So this expansion reward the player would like to optimize his tree by fitting everything in the grid very nicely. And in the regular base, the regular game, you don't have this kind of things.
No.
You have your optimization with the notice in your objective cards, but not like this.
No.
So that way we are to bring this new concept, to bring these details to the players who want to optimize their tree.
So for people who maybe aren't as familiar with the game as we are, it's always in your best interest when you're playing a regular game of Dominations, even without the Tablets of Law, to try and optimize your civilization tree if you can. Because obviously the more of your notice match up, a lot of the time you are rewarded for your notice on your objective card, but also there are a lot of mastery cards that work on notice that you have made.
Cartography, for example.
Exactly, cartography is one of the mastery cards that work with that. So it's already a good idea. This makes it a real... It's all to play for.
It's a challenge.
Yes, it's a new challenge. Yes, so if you are already a little bit familiar with Dominations, or even if you're not that familiar with Dominations, this is a cool, small additional thing that you can add that doesn't overly complexify the game or add any extra playtime. So for me, I think the spatial puzzle element of Dominations is actually one of the things I enjoy the most. Matching up the colours. So I think this is great, even though I've never actually played it yet.
Sorry, go on.
No. In fact, the idea of this expansion or this module, let's call it
module.
It's roughly to optimize your tree, to reward your optimization, but at the same time to help you with bonuses. Because you have a lot of bonuses in the symmetrical way, but the asymmetrical, you can, again, for example, you have this one. You can develop, a knowledge card, an advanced one when you get this bonus. So there is one side, you have a lot of influence. You can get so much influence with this. But it's really depending on how you want to do this. So to help the players, we have created the Vestigium token, which can help the players in matching everything. Because from now, you may choose a knowledge not for its power, but maybe for the matching.
Just to get it to match. And I mean, I have to admit, I do already do that at times to get my notice objectives. I will take a card that perhaps the power doesn't interest me quite as much, but I have to get those notice. So the veteran players of Dominations will be slightly familiar with this, but even so, the 5x5 grid, that's challenging.
Absolutely.
It is deceptively small.
Yes.
Because you have 25 boxes.
Yes.
And you have 15 turns, which means that you have 24 empty, boxes that you have to fill in.
Yes.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
With the Wonders card and the Knowledge card, it's up to you. Do whatever you want.
Everything is a choice, choice trouble.
Yes.
You will choose what reward you want to take.
Yes.
And this is a choice. You can say, I take this one. This will be difficult for me to make my tree, but I want this one to begin the game. And this is one more choice in the game. This is a choice game. And in the spirit, this is exactly the same thing with the Table of Law. And it's not complicated. There are no rules, no new rules. But this is a more bonus with the way to play.
New options. You have new options in developing your civilization.
You do.
It does actually bring new options to the table as well, because as you mentioned, sometimes you will need to take a card for its nodus options.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll be, well, at this point of the game, I would go for, if you were doing religion, I would go for Templars or something to get, I need some influence, I'm going to get my influence up, try and challenge somebody on influence. Where do I connect it? I mean, personally, it's never happened to me before, and we've said this in the past, that I was unable to place a mastery card that I wanted. Late game, with this, it may be.
It may be. And furthermore, because at one moment you may need, to get this vestigium because you plan to do something with this, or you need, the 3 bonus, resources that you might have for next turn.
Yeah.
And again, it's really up to you, and you may connect something you don't need in terms of nodus, but maybe for the bonus or for the late option that you have, because from this, I know that I can bring 2 other cards with civism to get there for the 3 influences. So it's really a tricky thing to manage, but so rewarding at the end.
And you won't be able to take all the rewards. It's not possible to take the 25 boxes, but if you make your best, you will be able to take enough rewards to make your party better. And this is the pleasure to play this one.
And I think it will really valorize monuments as well. With their multiple vestigium notices, they will be a very important part in really filling out the board. And the way, obviously, there is one symmetrical side where all the powers are the same, everything is laid out similarly, but each side, as we mentioned, has a flip side which has different layouts.
Exactly.
And depending on which side you play and where you decide to position yourself can greatly determine your opener, how you want to start the game and how you go on through. I mean, even on the symmetrical side, you've got a choice between starting with resources, getting some more influence, getting an early extra city, or even starting with a city. You could set your campfire down there and start the game
with a city. Directly with a city. So, which means that you could develop a wonder in the same time that your first city, which would be tremendous.
So it limits you a bit, obviously, although the vestigium tokens are there to make sure you're never going to be completely stifled by it.
Exactly. But there's only 5 of them. That doesn't go far.
It is 25 points at the end of the game. If you don't, if you keep them.
Do I keep it? Do I use it? And this is the choice we like with Oliver. And each time we will say, I would like to use it, but 5 points?
5 points is 5 points.
I don't know if it's a good thing. So we like it. We like this feeling.
And knowing that you can spend whatever you want in terms of vestigium. So if at one moment you want to place a card just over there, but you can't, you can spend 3 vestigium if you have the tokens.
Right, okay.
Just to
put that one card in. Okay, but hey, that can give you 3 nodus for your objective card that you may not have gotten otherwise. And again...
And you choose the colours. So which means that at one moment you say, okay, so this is maybe 3 more points, maybe 3 influence if you get, the religion knowledge, or, to get some influence depending on the donation you have in your tree. So it's really complementing your strategy.
Absolutely. And, that final, if that nodus objective is your final objective, that's 30 points.
Indeed.
So, giving up a few tokens to get there.
To get 30.
Can
be valuable. 15 to get 30.
Still pays off. So, it can absolutely be worth it. Anybody, if you have any questions, we are actually looking at the comments, which is why, and I have to laugh because someone said, I find that Olivier looks younger and younger. And that's because every time I play Dominations with him, he steals a piece of my soul. So I look older, he looks younger.
I'm not, unfortunately. No, you can't imagine. This is not exactly what I'm saying in my mind.
We really grease the cameras up all this
Vaseline, so for all of us.
Makeup in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oil in my body.
No, stop it.
No more.
We know what you are able to do. Stop it now.
So, that said, the idea is you can mix it with any expansions, which means that it goes perfectly with Egemen and the others, of course.
Yeah.
But it works perfectly with corruption.
Yes, it does. And I mean, this interestingly is a module that we had that we hadn't planned on adding to the Kickstarter campaign.
No.
You guys actually came up with this very recently.
No, I mean, to be honest, on that project, on that expansion, on this module, we were thinking about this when we were developing Rise and Fall. But at the end, we can't add everything that we have in mind in Rise and Fall. So we wanted to get, the corruption and the Declan card, which is for us pretty interesting in terms of modification in the game.
Definitely.
Then with the 1,000 backers, we said, okay, it would be nice to have a bonus. We said, okay, it would be nice to give this because it gives another flavor to the game.
It really does. Yeah, it adds a little something.
And really compatible because Rise and Fall expansion is. It's not like the others expansions, meaning that you are adding rules.
Yes.
A lot of rules for provinces. You are adding a lot of rules, new steps into your turn order and so on.
No more rules, but many possibilities.
Yes.
This was we wanted to do that because it's an expert game and we didn't want to make more rules.
No.
To hear, it's too difficult. This is easy. This is not different, and you can find another perfume. To play.
For sure.
This is the feeling we wanted. But if you don't play the expansions, you can take pleasure to play that.
Of course, you can add it whatever you want. If you don't want to play corruption, I like corruption to be honest. But yes, no. But at the end,
we know why that is.
Yeah.
Olivier loves corruption.
I don't want to speak.
Young and corrupted.
He's a bad person.
A corrupting influence, some might say.
No, the idea with this is at the end, it came. To be fair, it came with Museum Pictura.
Pictura, yeah.
Indeed, because when we were working on Crystal Palace expansions, we were close, not in the fact, but in the spirit, the idea of matching your greed with some new elements.
Sure.
And with this, we really enjoyed developing this this expansion for Museum Pictura, and when we did it. It came to an end that it was really interesting to put it exactly the same way, and we didn't find the solution when we are developing 3 years ago, Dominations. Already.
10 years ago.
No, I'm not.
100 years ago.
Before time began.
For a long time. So when we are developing this, the idea to reward people by optimizing the tree was something we wanted to. We didn't find any solution at that time.
No.
But we experienced with Pictura, it came to an end that we thought it was a good idea to bring this.
And it is. I mean, Crystal Palace is a great expansion for Pictura. My favourite. So the idea of taking that, it's inspired from that concept, but it's definitely not the same.
No, not at all. But it's inspired by the fact that you fill in a greed,
have a space,
and get some bonuses depending on your choice by filling the greed.
This is a puzzle pleasure. You have got the same feeling when you put the last piece.
Yes.
I'm the boss.
Yeah.
And you just get the reward. But this is the same feeling. I put it where I want.
Yeah.
I get a city. Yeah. I get influence. I get resources. And there is a pleasure to bring the rewards because you have well done.
Yes.
I have done what the game claim and wants for me, and I am rewarded.
Yeah.
And this is very
This is the right
very
feeling.
fun.
There is a really good feeling.
Yeah, for
This
sure.
is really fun.
And as you guys were saying earlier, this really embodies what the spirit of the Rise and Fall expansion is, which was to add new possibilities without adding too much extra playtime or extra rules. Because although corruption, for example, has its own little rule set and a few new things, it comes in to replace the domination cards.
So, and the domination phase, so you don't add more time into your play.
Exactly. You've removed something to add something new. And honestly, when I played with this expansion, obviously I'm massively biased, but when I played with this module for the first time, it kind of felt like rediscovering the game.
Completely. It gives some of the flavour.
It does, absolutely.
And from the beginning to the end, especially with corruption, but even with the decline card. I mean, the rise and decline card, because it gives you some really good advantage during the game session. But at the end, the
piper must be paid.
Absolutely.
Sure. I mean, the glory and
Can be expensive.
Sir, your bill.
No.
I'm just going to go to the bar.
You must pay for all your actions.
I didn't order that. No, Glory and Decline is very interesting. It felt to me slightly similar to Dynasties, but it has a much more double-edged sword feel to it, because the powers are much stronger than what you tend to get from Dynasties cards, and then obviously there is that bill that has to be paid at the end of the game. But they give you options, but you don't have to use them.
No.
And you could use one or two, couple of points here, couple of points
it's
there.
temptation.
It's
You're
very
always tempted by the cards. Because you say, I have one. Well, okay.
Yeah.
After, but I have the third one.
Yes.
It might be a really good one, and it really added value to have more. I mean, 8 or 7 decline points, but you have a strong benefit with this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you say, I won't play that, and 3 turns after, perhaps, and 5 turns after, okay, I will do that. No matter the fall, I go. Well, this is temptation, really.
You draw that one glory card. Just to give everybody a quick recap, the cards get more and more powerful the more of them you collect and the more you play at once. So you'll draw one and you go, yeah, that's okay. You'll draw another one and you'll go, that's expensive. You'll draw another one and you'll go, now we're talking, but oh my God.
And with this one, because there is a card, you can move your card, your knowledge card into your tree.
Yeah.
It fits really well.
Of course, I forgot about that.
This is fantastic.
That's true. Yeah, so there are glory cards that allow you to actually move cards within your reorganize your civilization tree.
Absolutely.
Which can be a bit of a lifesaver if you all
many combos.
So it's a great expansion that doesn't, it refreshes the game to me, without necessarily making it feel like you're playing with a full-blown expansion. If you just want to add a module here, a module there,
like we are at first with Capitals. It was really not exactly the same flavor, but it gives you some reward by spending more resources to have a 5-level cities.
And no more rules.
No more rules.
Yeah, and that's generally appealing because Dominations is already a heavy game. We were live earlier in French, and one person was actually saying their games when they play with expansions can last between 4 and 6 hours. And I mean, especially if you have people.
It's a rating that they were playing with multiple expansions.
Multiple expansions
with 4 players with multiple expansions.
I hope you got a good night's sleep before as well.
Have coffee and sugar to hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, you don't see your time spent.
No, and that's what they said.
So involved.
They did say that.
They did say it's 6 hours that just flew by. I mean, afterwards, I felt like I'd been hit by a truck.
Yeah, exactly.
but it went by quickly. So that's the basics of it.
Absolutely. This is roughly what we have for this module with all the tokens that goes with the expansions, with the modules. It brings a lot of things with the Rise and Fall expansions.
Yeah.
And if in any case we arrive at 2,000 backers,
maybe we'll add something else.
Maybe we have more things.
Yes.
Now we have some others, leather, because we like working on different aspects of the game. And where can we add more
more possibilities,
more flavor in some aspects.
Sure.
So, and we have some others.
Yeah.
And we have worked on this. So maybe not in this campaign, maybe in the future, maybe never.
Yeah.
Maybe
because we have some other games to develop, but at least we have some other ideas.
Yes.
And concept about bringing new value on the game and how we can renew the pleasure of playing a game to Domination. Sure. When it seems that you have played everything or you have all the sensation of the game, what can I add? Something, okay, I haven't seen like this. Really good, like scenarios, or some other options, it brings some new temptation to the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you two were actually talking about, it was Eric actually, you were talking about how players of the game said to you, Dominations is a game that we will play a few times, but we will keep getting it back out again and again. And I think that's very interesting because we consume a lot of games.
Yeah, they can be, board games can be quite ethereal.
They can, and you can buy a game. It's happened to me a lot. I'll buy a game, I'll play it a couple of times, and then, maybe I'll feel like it's not that I don't like it. I just feel like I've taken what it has to give me. Perhaps I won't get it out again. So it's nice to hear that.
Domination is our second baby, and it's a big one.
It's a big baby.
Yeah. Domination Junior. But this is really a game. He is alive. It is alive. It is strange. It is strange for Oliver and I to see how much he is moving. Okay, stop it.
Let it sorry.
Go back to the Warner in the 1950s.
We're very tired.
It's been a long day.
We're very tired.
They are really silly. It changed these new models. We had got the idea at the beginning, but we forget it and we don't use it now. And it is coming now, but it could have never come. This is a real game that can change. And perhaps we will do a new story, new models, perhaps not. But we really enjoy to hear the return of the players because they give us ideas, and this is what we change the game to.
Yeah, and we have to come back to the fact as well that we are delighted and slightly surprised by how well this is going.
Absolutely.
Because Dominations
it's an expert game.
It's a really expert game.
And most of the time, we play expert games.
Yes.
And like Lorenzo, Il Magnifico, Barrage, or whatsoever. And they're so demanding.
They're very, very.
In terms of rules, in terms of investment in your games, that sometimes it is complicated to get back. I love Barrage. But just reading the rules to be back, because as we are playing a lot of the games, and say, no. That's a pity because sometimes you would need more time to appreciate the game, appreciate the session.
Dominations, the rules are on this card. You get it?
No.
Just the turn is on a card. You take a domino, you put it, you take the resources, and you buy something. This is easy, but this is a deep game. And this is also why we do that.
And the experience is very important. The experienced player. Because sometimes people say, okay, if you are playing against players which knows perfectly the games, it will be difficult.
Oh, for sure,
every game.
Any game. If you play tennis against an expert, you're going to have a hard time.
I won't play tennis. I am young.
Thanks to me.
I won't play tennis today.
Well, all that to say that when Dominations first came to Kickstarter, it was 100% the essence of a Kickstarter game, and it was a very raw concept.
It's a primitive game.
That we pitched to you guys on Kickstarter, hoping that we would get the support we needed to launch
watch
it.
the videos that we have done with Rado or John Kelly Games. Rado actually came and tested the game at UK Games Expo. And he did a video.
He did do a video.
And it was completely different. It was white with coloured dots.
White dots.
And you were young. You were
I remember
young.
that prototype. Oh.
Maybe a bit.
It's like someone took a
Younger,
bucket.
maybe. But, at the end, there's no less asymmetrical knowledge card that we have now. Because after the campaign, we have worked nearly
18
18 months.
of development.
More 18 months on the game,
Yeah.
trying new with Kaidama team, and they bring some new aspect that we didn't think about, and they push us into the fact that we should develop the asymmetrical game to bring more, more flavor with all the knowledge card, and it's now a new game compared to the videos that we have done in the past. It's completely different from now.
And without Kickstarter, no domination.
No.
We need the trust of the people that follows us.
The backers.
And
Let's imagine that we have
without the backers, no game.
we can't. We have nearly not more, but as many as pictures as in museum.
Illustrations as museum,
illustrations.
Yes.
Because we have nearly 200 illustrations.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly people are often surprised when I tell them how many illustrations are in Dominations, but every single mastery card is illustrated separately.
Illustrated.
Every objective card is illustrated. The monuments, everything is illustrated.
Wonderful work.
It's not something that we could have accomplished without Kickstarter. So
Of course.
we're really happy.
And Kickstarter has changed now.
Yes.
Because, now it's much more, you need your game ready when you go to Kickstarter.
It needs to be much more.
But at that time, we were just at the beginning of the game, and we need the Kickstarter to carry on to be sure that we can invest money, time, or teamwork, and a project, and the Kickstarter bring up these facilities to do this.
This was really, we will do it if you follow us.
Yes.
If you don't follow us, we won't be able to do it. And this is quite easy.
Yeah, tell us you want it, and we will make it.
And we will do it,
And that's true, because at the end, when 2 years, it's 2 years later.
It was released early 2020.
Last year. So with 1 year, he lived 1 year without us, with the distributors, with the backers. And when you get the feedback from the players, it is interesting or just intriguing to have the feedback, because when you are proposing something and you have some people goes to your project, it's interesting to have your feedback. And then from this feedback, we said maybe we have some other things to mention, to add some new flavor into the concept, and we had so many ideas about Dominations. We have some other games to develop, so we won't go further. We won't spend again 2 years of our lives on this, but at least we are really proud of it, because it's exactly what we wanted for a civilization game. And this is different civilization game, and we love this. I think this is the more thematic games that we have. I mean, we are playing civilization. And to be, what the point to develop a game which is roughly what exists, and it's better than you could do.
No interest.
Doing something more than Nations or Through the Edges.
Clash
Clash of Cultures, Historia, which is a regular Golden Ages, it's a brilliant one.
Because it has to be said, you guys are huge Civ game fans.
Absolutely. So at that point you say, okay, we would like to develop one civilization game, but you need to have a point of view on this.
You have to have
an angle.
An angle, yes. Why should I bring this? And I ought to bring this, which is completely different than something that already exists. If it's another Nations,
there is no interest.
There is no interest. There are much better that we could do.
And I mean, those games already exist. Dominations was really, I personally am not actually a Civ game fan, because I tend to find them a little bit dry. Dominations, although I know that a lot of people have called it very abstract, the domino laying and the spatial element of your civilization tree. The thing that I really like about Dominations is when you have played, whether you won or whether you lost, you have built something. And it's in front of you, it's on the table, it feels very satisfying, and you will think about the game. You will think about the game in the shower, making your coffee in the morning. I should have laid that card. That was the card I needed. And not many other games do that, for me, anyway.
No. This is most of the time the flavor that you have with Civilization game. Yeah. When you redo your match, when you are redoing, you say, I should have done this, it was not the right moment. You are redoing this, and it's really interesting. And this is the flavor that you have with Civilization game, because you are redoing, it was not the right moment to do this. No. I should have wait for, or do it later, or before, because I missed completely the fact. Yeah. And this is really complex to bring something new. When you say abstract, there is some abstraction. It's not an abstract game.
I don't find it to be so. I know that people have called it an abstract game. I don't actually find it abstract. But then we don't, because we know what we were going for when we developed it.
Meaning that
it makes sense to us.
Absolutely. and furthermore, there is as many abstraction as in the games you are spending stone and wood to develop your civilization.
Yeah. Yes.
At the size of the civilization, what does it mean to have stone, wood, and gold?
Over 3,000 years, nothing. What's left of grain?
Of course. So at that moment, it's as abstract as it is for other resources.
Yeah.
We try to find a view, an angle to bring people to our 3,000 ages of our game.
This is exactly that. At the end of the game, you get a territory, you get marvels, you get knowledge, you can tell the story of your civilization. I began with writing, and I got on cartography, after I do astronomy, and you can tell what you have done, you get a territory, you get marvels. I don't know why it's abstract. It is not more abstract than other games. You have built something, you tell it, and this is the purpose of the game.
Absolutely. When you play 3,000 years, this doesn't mean anything. Compared to something like Clash of Culture, you play maybe 300 years, or conquering a territory, conquering country, or whatsoever. It means something, but not on the size of the age. So from that, we thought it was a good idea to bring this new mechanics, the way that we are dealing the tree of knowledge and the dominoes and the resources, which are resources. We could have a grain, stone, wood.
Sure, of course.
But and that size of the length of the game, or of the length of the ages that we are playing, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
So we went a bit different, like Historia did. Historia is a brilliant game. I don't remember which is the English publisher. It's Gigamic in France, but it's a brilliant game, knowing that it's always a complication between wars and science, and you are always going through this, this difficulty between war and science. And this is a brilliant concept. Maybe so many people would know it, but it's a really good game. It brings a new aspect of the Civilization game. And we try to do this. We tried. Hopefully it works, but at least we tried.
Did we manage? That's up to you guys.
Did we do it? Do you like us?
No, but that's a fact.
No, of course.
When we are doing games, it's always complicated to say there is maybe 2,000 games every year.
So many games come out.
So bringing something new, or new aspect, or a new mechanic. There is no new mechanics. It's something, it's like cooking. You bring some ingredients, and you have some flavor at the end of the game.
You don't do it first anymore. You can only do it better.
Absolutely. Or
differently.
Different,
exactly.
And all this is not, what we're saying here is not new. This is something we defended since the first Kickstarter. So the whole, why have we done knowledge and not stone, wood, grain? It is something we've talked about a lot in the past. Some people like it, some people don't, but tomato.
It's not a problem.
And the reason that we're going over it again is actually because so many new players have joined the adventure since the game first came out. That it's nice to just share the history of the game with you, because it was hard work.
No, it was hard work.
It was hard work. The amount of work that goes into developing, balancing, testing.
Because you can't say, I'm going to spend 30 minutes in balancing my game. It doesn't work. Because a game session is 3 hours. So after spending 3 hours, say, okay, so this knowledge doesn't work.
Terrible.
And you say, okay, we redo it, everything, so we have to retest it in that way. But in some configuration you can't.
No.
Because you can't play every time the same card. So you need to try something else and play as it was a new player.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we say, okay, I don't play the objectives, you play, but it doesn't work.
No.
Because depending on your dominoes, on what's happening, the wonders.
Opportunity.
Of course.
You have to use the opportunity. And you are never stopped in domination. You have to adapt your possibilities with your domino, with the marvel, with all it is possible. And this is also the purpose of these 3 modules. This is the same thing. It offers you new opportunities to build your civilization, to take new vestigium. Vestigium is exactly that.
With
this is an opportunity.
And new constraint.
Yeah.
You have new.
Do I take points? Do I take new models? Do I will use it for my objective? You can do all that you want to get your purpose. This is not your objective card. You can give points with many possibilities. But I think this is the really thing we wanted in this game. You have many choice, but you can use the direction you want to go to your possibility.
And every player can do exactly what you're doing.
Every player. You don't stop
there. There is no.
This is not a race, not a competition.
No, because everything can do. Okay, he's doing this with sensors, with bridge and sensors, or with some combo with cards and knowledge. You say, this is interesting. Okay, I can mix this. But I can do exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You.
If I want to, I could copy what
maybe
they're doing.
improve upon it. Even.
Of course.
Yeah.
You look what the other players are doing, but you don't fight against them. This is a competition between civilization. There is no war, no sense on 3,000 years. What is a war? 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah.
But competition having
100.
100,
What do you remember about Rome, about Egypt? You remember the pyramids for Egypt, Colosseum for Rome, but not Egypt against Assyrians. 3-year war. You don't care. This is not the long time of the game. We play on 3,000 years, so we wanted this kind of feeling.
Yeah, and that's that. I think that's what you get. It's a very eagle-eye view of your civilization.
And you tell your story.
Yes.
I went from my coven, then I'm developing the military thing. So I went through something really focused on military. Then I went there. Then I went to build these wonders I need to cooperate with these wonders and so on and so on. And you can tell the story of what you have done during your play session.
Yes, yeah, and again, that's the thing. You have this feeling, although there isn't necessarily direct, violent, aggressive conflict between players, you are competing. You do need to keep an eye on what everybody else is doing, but you're also building your thing. So, and at the end of the game, whether you won or you lost, you still have this thing in front of you, and you can sit down, you can have a look at your little mastery cards. You can go, I did this and I made that, and then we moved on to this. And
there's so much game, really good game with 4X games, with Civilization.
There's so many good games.
Clash of Culture is one of them, a brilliant one. With Civilization, you play, a people, you bring knowledge and everything, but at the end, it's mean. So it's a mean game. So remember when we played Civilization, the advanced Civilization from Avalon Hill up, and the Creators. And the Creators, you lose one turn.
Yeah.
You have to lose one turn.
Yeah.
End of the story. When you play Krithia, you are losing one turn. End of the story.
If the Greek is mean with you, this is over.
And you
play 7 hours and you have lost at the first
2
one.
or 3 turns at the beginning of the game because this is done like this. So the 4X with experience said, no, I don't want this.
Yeah.
I don't want to have the feeling that after 3 turns I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Why
going
to play completely differently from the other players to make them to be late. And it's not a good sensation. I love this game. We have played so many game sessions on this, but at the end I don't want this. It was a 82 games, maybe 1984, 86, whatsoever, long time ago. And at
18,
I mean, I'm not yet. In the past, a long time ago.
You were younger. Okay, I know that.
So at the end, we didn't want this to be mean.
No.
But through the edges, there is some option that you can't play war.
Yeah.
I'd rather play without war because the systematic wars to win the game. It's a bit strange at the end because you don't have the choice. You need to make war to win the game, which is not completely true at the end, which is completely false at the same time.
Our last game, you win with a very, very few influence. Less than 10, I think.
Less than 10, absolutely.
And you win the game with no war, no influence, no fight. You just make a wonderful civilization.
Of course, because
other things.
While you are doing influence, I'm doing some victory points. I'm playing some other knowledge, which brings so many things. In the same game, I played, guild, the bank, and forge, which bring us 40 points every end of the edges. So I only score 80 points just with this.
Yeah.
But of course,
the wonders. Many points of the wonder. The city between the city next to the wonders.
So you get trying to some combo this and
terrible.
I play go directly there. And the idea when not playing influence because sometimes you say you need to play. No, you don't need.
No.
It is complicated, but you don't need to.
You have to do everything else really well.
Absolutely.
But it's the same if you don't do your objectives.
Absolutely, and you have to calculate against your opponents where they are. Where are they? Where are they in the objective cards?
And the other way around, however, you can focus on influence and make that your main strategy. But you better do it right.
Yeah.
Because you can't afford to invest fully into influence and then be second in influence.
Because at least getting more than 50 influence is investing nearly 3 cards of knowledge at 9. And that's it. End of the story. So you have spent 3 9th level cards of knowledge just for the influence. Yeah. So it must pay. Because if it's not, you have lost the opportunity to do some cartography,
chemistry, blacksmithing, chemistry, terrible. You don't fight with chemistry, but you win.
Yeah.
I was stronger in this game, but I lose.
Of course,
I was in a big influence. I was nearly 60, I think, but I lose the game because it was only that. I was a fighter civilization. I kill everybody. It was fun, but I lose. And he was on his pyramid to say, "Okay, how many points? Oh, goodbye."
Behind his wall.
At the end of the second age, are nearly 100 points before in front of the others, due to the fact I bet on something else, but I didn't spend my resources on influence. I just spent to something else, which reward me every end of the ages.
Well, unless we have any questions.
No, I think we're good. Everybody seems pretty content.
We got into a bit of a chat there. Sorry, guys. Again.
It's what we're here for. It's what we're here for.
I mean, we've already gone over a lot of the questions that we got in the first live that we did slightly earlier. Anyway, if you have any other questions, please let us know in the comments. Even after the fact, we'll come back and check them every so often to see if there's anything new. If you've already backed the Kickstarter, thank you so much.
Indeed,
we really are very, very grateful. If you haven't backed yet, and this video has perhaps made you change your mind, thank you very much as well. Yeah, maybe.
No.
Please. This hasn't done it. I know what will.
We will have a lot of mistakes. Police is coming.
The police is on their way. Oh my god. We are going into the final 48 hours of the campaign. We will be available in the comment section of the campaign as always.
Even after the campaign, as per usual.
Even after.
And if you just don't forget that we've been doing videos for this campaign, but we will be back we will be back every month with news. Videos, whatever we've got for you guys, and news about the project, where it is, when it's coming, that kind of thing. So.
Knowing that, we should have the expert solo mode. Stefan is working on this, and it should bring us, the third module for the solo mode, which one, expert one.
Yes.
With, you know,
It will be hard.
It will be hard.
Yeah.
And so we will take in touch. We'll keep in touch on that.
Of course.
Absolutely, yeah. So this expert solo mode and solo mode in general, which will be in printed card form, whereas in the first campaign it was print and play only.
Yeah, print and play. Exactly.
But for anybody wondering, it will still be available in print and play.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you don't get the collector's box, you don't want it, whatever, you can still get the updated print and play for solo mode.
Fancy.
Point. There you go.
So we will be back after the end of the campaign. Fear not, with news and updates. That's about it.
That's about it, and more than it.
More than it. Yes, absolutely. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Thank you once again if you have backed our campaign, and we will be back soon with more news, updates, and more.
We will be back.
We'll be back.
We always come back.
Thank you very much for your time, Olivier and Eric. It was lovely to sit and nerd out with you over Dominations and all that it contains.
It's time to strip now.
Yeah, now it's time for everybody to get I thought you said sleep. Not strip.
No, we can sleep. But strip, it's much better.
No,
pole dancer.
And we've got a lot more space in this new studio, so who knows what
I'm a pole dancer, a Viking pole dancer, you know. Oh,
It's not how I saw this video finishing, but never mind.
We're going to cut the cameras now before this gets out of hand. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. We will be back soon. I've lost them.
Thank you very much, guys. Do enjoy the rest of the campaign. We'll be back soon.
bye. Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Laters.